SEC Online Tutorials. My name is Valentine Jebele and I am your tutor on business management. Now, today we are going to be exploring a wonderful question about management. But before that, let me just jolt your memory on what we discussed in our last class. In our last class, we explored the definition of management, the characteristics and the features of management. Now, to today, there is just one big question mark on that word management. And that question has caused a whole lot of controversies over the years. And now, what is that question? The question is management science or an art? Now, you pause and ask yourself this question: where can I categorize management? Can I categorize management as a science or can I categorize it as an art? Follow me as we explore the possibility of what management could be. Could it be a science or an art? First of all, before we can know where management lies, let's ask ourselves this question: what is science and what is art? First of all, let us give a light to the definition of these two terms. Now, science is said to be the systematic way of seeking new knowledge in a field of studies that holds facts that explain a phenomenon or a theory. I come again. I said science can be defined as the systematic way of seeking new knowledge in a field of study that holds facts that explain a phenomenon or a theory. Now, looking at this definition, you look at it, something that has to do with something, a definition that comes with the word systematic. Systematic. What does it tell you? It tells you that it has to do with a procedure. It tells you that it has to do with an order. There is a way it's been done. And because science is systematic, it has some principles attached to it, which management itself shares. And I am going to be highlighting this principle. Principle number one, as a science. Science has a characteristics of principle. Principle. It has a characteristic of being systematic. Systematic. It has a characteristic of being analytic. Analytic. It has the characteristics of being objective. And it also has a characteristic of generating hypotheses and theory. I'm going to put that as hype and theory. That's it. Now, let me explain each of these characteristics and let me relate it to management. So, judging by these characteristics, let's pick principle. Principle just means that a guideline or a way a thing is being done. That is what is called principle, without altering. As you are as a person, you have a principle. Science has its principle, and majorly the principle of science is you have your facts. From your facts, you gather your hypothesis. From your hypothesis, you collect data. After collecting the data, analyze the data through experiment, and you come out with your theory. Now, anything going outside this principle, it just means you are not practicing science. Now, management itself has its own principles. It has principles guiding it. Like in management, the principle of management is you have to plan. After planning, you organize. After organizing, you actually coordinate, and like that. Now, one thing is that principle is very, very important. Principle just states what a thing stands for. Management stands for managing of resources. Science stands for seeking new knowledge, and therefore if you go outside the principle, you might actually miss it. Don't forget, once the purpose of a thing is not known, once the principle of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. And that's why majority of us, we mismanage stuffs these days, because we don't know the principle that guides management. Now let's move to the second point of our characteristics. The second one is systematic. Now systematic means the order that which things are done, the proceedings that which things are done. In science, like I said earlier when I was explaining principle, that why science will do what it does the way it does it, is because there is an order on ground. Now in science, you pick your hypothesis, get your data, analyze it, come out with a theory. Now in management, you identify your resources, you plan. After planning, you organize it. After organizing, you staff it, and then you coordinate everything in order to what? Achieve your goal. Don't forget the definition, the generally acceptable definition of management. It actually defines management according to its functions, and those functions in that definitions, they were arranged in a systematic order. Don't forget, let me remind us, I said, or the generally acceptable definition of management by John Stoner states that management can be defined as the act of planning, organizing, directing, staffing, controlling, coordinating of human and material resources in an effective manner towards the achievement of an organizational goal. If you watch, those points are highlighted in a systematic manner, meaning that if you want to achieve a goal through management, you must follow that system, you must follow that sequence, you must follow that order. It is not possible for you to organize what you've not planned. And remember, normally, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. When there is no plan, there is nothing to organize, there is nothing to control, there is nothing to direct, there is nothing to coordinate. So you can see that management itself is so systematic, and that is why it shares that same principle with science. Now let's move to the next one. It is analytic. Now, excuse me, when science wants to get a problem solved, it first of all analyzes it by collecting data and carrying out experiments. Collecting data in forms of number, carrying out the experiments, making the observation, and coming out with their theories and hypotheses. The same thing with management. Before management could actually come out with anything, what they are going to do is that they are going to actually analyze the problem on ground, what is wrong with the system, and they are going to fix it. That is actually the part of the controlling function of management, and that's where the analytic part of management comes in, and it shares that with science. Now the next one is objective. Now science has an objective, and majorly the objective is the end goal of every experiment that management carries out. Now our science carries out. Now the same thing management has a goal, organizational goal, individual goals. Everybody in a management or everybody in a corporate body has a goal. Now therefore, if there is no goal, there is no need to plan, there is no need to achieve anything. But when you're going to achieve something, you must plan, you must follow the sequence, there must be a principle on ground. So therefore, management also share the characteristics of objectivity with science. Now, let's move further. The last one is hypothesis and theory. Now, in the field of science, several scholars, several researchers always comes up with new theories, new experiments, new hypotheses. The same thing with management, and that's why management shares characteristics of being able to go through development. In years past, scholars in the field of management has came up with new theories that has actually brought development to the study of management, which I believe is the same thing with science. In the field of science, we have the physics part, we have the chemistry part. In the physics part, you have people like Isaac Newton, you have people like Michael Faraday, and they have different theories they've come out with in their time in terms of research. In the chemistry aspect, you have people like Avogadros, you have people like Boyce, you have people like Gay-Lussers, and all of those. But in the field of management, you also have the scholars that have also come with hypotheses and theory, like the father of classical management in person of Henry Fayot. We have Frederick Winslow Taylor, we have Mary Parker Follett, we have Charles Babbage, and so much more. So you can see that with these characteristics, management shares a whole lot with science. But the only reason why a lot of people want to categorize management as a science, as a pure science, is because management does not have a laboratory. So majorly, even if it is going to carry out an experiment, it is going to carry out an experiment on a field, and that is what is known as what? Field experiment. Now, we have actually explored why management could be a science, and we have also seen why it might not be a science. Now, let's also look at the art part. Now, the question is, what is an art? You also ask yourself, what is an art? Art can be said to be the application of human creativity into solving daily problems. Now, you can see that human creativity, human intuition. Now, that is the definition of art. Now, let us now check this. What are the characteristics of art? Art is realistic. 1. Art is objective oriented. 2. Art uses intuition. 3. Then number 4, art is also creative. Now, reality in what sense? Anything you're going to do in art, it has to be realistic. In the world of art, the art tries to paint everything in a realistic terms, and that is why art has the characteristics of being realistic. The same thing with management. If management is going to deal with anything, they look at it from the realistic aspect. That's why it shares that characteristics with management. Now, when we go to the next one, which is being objective oriented, just like science, it also shares the same thing with science. It has a goal of setting what is right, wrong, and what is wrong, and continuing what is wrong, just to make sure that everything that is put in place works effectively. Now, you see, the next point that we're looking at is creativity. Now, creativity is also something that is very, very important. Now, creativity is bringing different people's idea to actually make a big idea that is going to be used to solve a problem. Now, remember, 2 heads are better than 1, and that is what art is about. Bringing different people's idea to create a bigger picture or to create a better idea which will solve a problem. That is art. The same thing with management. Management, when a boss in an organization wants to solve an issue or a problem, he doesn't rely on his own knowledge alone. He seeks the knowledge of his subordinates, bring everybody's idea together, and use it to create one big idea to solve the problem. And that is why we regard management as also an art. Now, intuition, like I said, the boss himself uses his intuition, his personal reasoning, and he uses that in a scenario whereby the decision he has to take it alone. So therefore, he has the right, he has the mindset to be able to use his own intuition to actually solve the problem that he is faced with in the organization. Now, by this point, you can see that management can be characterized as both management or as an art. So management is not absolutely a science, neither is it absolutely an art, but it is both a combination of science and art. And I believe that at the end of this video, you should have learned 1 or 2 things about what management is. See you in next class. Stay blessed.